There's plenty of these little quirks, just sort of depending on the country you're in. Like in Vietnam, there's always fun little things as well, like turns of phrase that I guess everyone always. Oh.
Hi.
Sorry, I was curious what it was going to be at when we went live. Unfortunately, the words of wisdom from Zeneca's paused, and we got words of wisdom from Esmeralda instead.
You're welcome.
Indeed.
I was watching, so I was ready.
Various quirks, indeed. Sorry, Ryan.
No, it's fine.
Hello, wherever
like
and whenever you are, and thank you for bearing with us through that momentary meltdown that my hardware had. Seems to be okay. Do give us a shout in chat if things go a bit wobbly once more. But let us jump straight in and get going with this fabulous session of Curse of Strahd, this fabulous penultimate session of Curse of Strahd. Now, we return to the mist-shrouded valley of Barovia and these wonderful, wonderful adventurers here. But before we meet them and chat with them, let me quickly say a few thank yous. First and foremost, to all of you, not only for for hanging out whilst our tech goblins were slain and dealt with, but also for coming along in the first place. Thank you for sharing our adventures with us. It's always an absolute pleasure to see you all. Alicia and Patch and Charlie and everyone over there, I see you all. Thank you so much. And everyone else that's watching as well, thank you. You are very welcome. Not only you, also all of those fabulous people over in VOD Squad land. A huge welcome to all of you as well. VOD squads, you say? Yes, indeed, there are VODs of all of our shows over on the YouTube channel, which is right there. And you should jump on over there and give it a look if you wish to catch up or reminisce about adventures gone by. And you can see all of the things there, as well as get links and all the information for the fabulous artists and music and things that are involved in our games in the information on those videos. Now, that said, our Twitter is also there, which you can jump in to see all of the interesting information about what's coming up on our channel, with people coming over here to play and us going places to play and new campaigns and exciting things happening. Do give it a follow if you so wish. And you can also give us a follow here on Twitch, which means you'll get invited to our followers Discord. A chill place where we kind of hang out and share a bit of art and a bit of goss about this and that, and information about shows that's going on. You can jump on over there. If you give us a follow, I will jump into your Twitch or Whispers and give you an invite, and you can jump in, and we will see you there. I will do that there like that. And it is a pleasure to have you along wherever and whenever you would like to join us. Now, that's it. Let me say thank you about said music. First and foremost, to the wonderful people at Sirenscape for the incredible sound effects and music that they have, lots of which will be on show this evening, with many a custom-built sound set for tonight's session. And then you can head on over there too and give them a try at sirenscape.com, and you can enjoy the wonders of that fabulous tool for your DMing, GMing, and whatever you like. Not just the official modules, because they are the official supplier of sounds for the Wizards of the Coast modules, but also Pathfinder and Call of Cthulhu and science fiction stuff and board games and all kinds of things. Head on over there. And if you want to become a Super Siren subscriber, you can carry on beyond the trial month and give them a go at your tables, be they in person, as some places are able to do now, or scattered across the world like these fine people here. Now, that said, let us also give a fabulous shout out to this person over in the corner who's not paying attention, as I shout out the wonderful Emma, as she is the artist of the incredible character arts that we have here, and on our not Curse of Strahd, this is Curse of Strahd, on our art showing Sirenscape. Yeah, this is Sirenscape, everyone. There it is. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful?
So it is.
Yeah, no, just for some reason that did not twig at all for the whole time. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw it. I looked at it. Didn't even twig that was something
Luckily,
wrong.
there was no spoilers.
Of course it's Sirenscape.
There is a little sneak peek at the Sirenscape overlay. Easy to use. Sorry. Slightly. Thanks, sorry French guy here. No apologies needed as you
No problem.
stumble your way up from the Underdark. Please forgive my terrible accents that may or may not appear in this episode, as there is a horse a talking horse with a French accent in Barovia. But enough of that. Let's just carry on. Marin, say welcome to the channel.
Bienvenue.
Thank you. What she said. Okay, thank you very much. It's good to see you. Welcome. And as we continue there, sorry, I flustered myself. Yes, Emma is the fabulous artist. You can go over and enjoy on. Come back here, you. You can enjoy on Twitter, and if you're lucky, catch them with their commissions open and in Florida to give you beautiful art like we have. And we have our characters here, except for Esmeralda, who has official art. Ooh. And she is looking over there in the corner. But yes, all of the other ones are from Emma here, as are the Rime of the Frost Maiden, which is what I was trying to say. Art, which is coming back for season 2 next week. Excited. Very excited to get back to the Frozen North. But that aside, let us carry on here, as we also like to say thank you to the wonderful YouTube channels. I want to get into this game, so head on over to the VODs. All the links are there. They're fabulous. And there's a Patreon too. You should follow them too. Let's go. Last time we were here, we were with these 4 adventurers. There was a 5th, a drow, speaking of Enzo Brownson, who has disappeared. Where could she be? What could be going on? Watch this space, and we shall find out very, very soon as we get into our game. But let us set the mood a little with something rather special from the Incredible Quiz Junkies UK, aka Patch. There we go. Okay, welcome back. You have seen all of these 4 lovely people, their characters, and the missing 5th member, as Arabelle, off somewhere in the wilds of the Thvarlic Woods, transformed, hunger tearing through her belly as her sharp teeth protrude from an extended muzzle as she experienced her first werewolf transformation. But I jump ahead of myself. That also happened, but we were travelling up once more to the manor on the hill, Argenvostholt, as they returned the dragon's bones to their proper resting place, thus triggering the beacon of Argenvost, the incredible beacon of hope that has spread across Barovia and given hope and joy to all of those. Okay, Michael?
I may have forgotten to make that item you asked me to.
Oh, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Everyone, just remember you got those +1s. AC and saving throws, if memory
I put them
serves.
all in my.
Put
them all in my thing.
So, yes, they got some rather nice bonuses for doing that, and they saw the Knights of the Silver Dragon reunited, lovers torn apart by hatred for Strahd, but reunited in the end before they moved on. Although one assumes they can't have moved on very far because the souls cannot escape Barovia, so they're kicking
about that.
kicking about the place somewhere. They're probably down comparing recipes with the wolf hunters in Valaki. Now,
that's really cute.
As you retrieved the last item from your Taroko card, reading the Sunsword's hilt. You have the hilt of a sword, but it is not yet empowered with the magic that once was imbued in it.
It was a very dramatic wielding. It
It
unfortunately
was.
did nothing.
No. Unfortunately. But you do remember that it was the spirit of Sergei, Strahd's younger brother, who had told you that he could once more give it the magic properties that it once held. And you are planning to head back to Kresk at the foot of the mountain, beneath that creepy, creepy abbey, where Emma, in a different life, his mother is tucked away up there, somewhere, doing unspeakable things for Strahd, unfortunately. But hey, such is the way of things. And you gained that, and as you left, there was a strange delivery at the front of the manor. A coffin with Esmeralda's name written on it. And on closer investigation, there was a death shroud inside, lying folded neatly, but it didn't stay that way long as it leapt out and grabbed Esmeralda and pulled her into the coffin and was killing her, as was Craig as he was shooting at the shroud, a very, very thin piece of fabric with his friend on the other side, with arrows from a vantage point of the skies. And there was a bit of a tussle, but they were able to defeat said spooky object. But as they did, they heard an "Ooh" from their drow. There it is, from their drow friend Asara, who, as the full moon shone down from the night sky above, experienced her first brush with lycanthropy proper as she transformed, and as she did so, went tearing off into the Svalek woods so as not to endanger her friends, and they watched her go, desperately trying to transform her back with a moonbeam, but she was too fast. The product not of any old werewolf, but a loup-garou, a stronger, more powerful, more dangerous form of lycanthropy. And as she disappeared into the woods, we saw something that the characters did not see. And actually, I didn't show you the handout, so we didn't see it at all. I will do that now, just as soon as I get everything back up and running from our little hard reset there. Let me jump into Roll20 for you all. On my way. Making my way.
Time.
Sorry. We are fans of that particular
We're
show.
on our way.
We are. That too. I mean, it is a very accurate statement. As I jump here into Roll20, and it slowly loads, I can show you all what you saw. Gleaming eyes that had been watching you as you approached the manor, now following along behind Asara, keeping tracks as she disappeared into the woods with daffodilly flowers gambling at her side. No, she's not a werewolf. They're not a werewolf. Yes, you were not being shadowed by this curious creature anymore, as they were chasing after your friend, keeping an eye on her and wondering just what is going to happen. And this is the figure. Don't worry, not quite as scary as they look in this picture. I would like to assuage your fears already. Preemptive assuaging. Rawr. As a
spooky.
Mapak, one of the raccoon-like, tanuki-like folk from Humblewood, one of the humble folk races, was seen bounding through the trees, hot on the heels and the bushy tail of a newly transformed werewolf. It is not Verdun, don't you worry.
Are you sure? I was thinking that.
They weren't drunk. It can't have been Verdun.
There you go.
Nor any kind of pirate in any way. So you're okay. Barovia, distinctly lacking any kind of ocean. They're like the dread pirates of the lakes of Barovia. No.
I'm the dread pirate Verdun.
Let us, having met this little Mapak that is chasing through after your werewolf transformed friend, let us meet the other four that are left behind in front of the mansion. As, who are you? Who are you playing? And where are they at right now? Crick!
It's muted.
Muted.
Trigger thing. Or not.
Maybe.
There.
That
Okay,
sounds better.
How
Yes.
does this go?
Okay.
Much
All right.
better.
Better.
Nope,
Until you start to-
not anymore.
he is a secret character. You'll never hear what he's all about.
Oh, we can't hear a thing, man. We heard, is that better? And that was it.
Yep.
Sadly, that was not better.
Come on.
What's happened?
We got rid of our tech goblins.
Clearly they've gone here.
They just went to Florida instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about that?
We're going to Disney World.
Yay!
Okay.
Oh,
That's better.
Talk while you can.
So, my name is Colby. I'm playing our Swarmkeeper Arakocra Ranger Krieg. He's a little bit nervous and kind of in shock that Asara is gone, but coming to terms with the fact that doesn't think that there's certainly nothing he could have done about it. So, but yeah.
Okay, thank you. Esmeralda, if you'd be so kind.
Hello, yes, I am Marin, and I am also Esmeralda, the Blade-Singing Battlemaster ex Vistani Reborn. How are we feeling today? We just got strangled by our own Death Shroud, which wasn't a particularly pleasant experience because we've already died once, and once was enough. So mostly she's very concerned about Asara at the moment, and trying to figure out what to do while staying on course because she knows the clock is ticking.
Tick tock, tick tock. Indeed. Okay. Hang on. Charlie, are you having sound problems? It should be okay. Let me know. Thank you for the music choice votes of confidence there. Although it led to other perturbing comments. I hope it's working. It's subtle. Just about you.
Okay, Patches, it's fine.
Yeah. See? We can all enjoy the hammering.
Lily just walked past me with a hammer and a nail and went like, so I was like, this is gonna be well. I will mute my
No worries, mate. Okay.
I mean, someone's vampire hunting, that's what it is.
Steaks.
Pretty miniature steak.
Yeah, out of stakes, nails.
Very small vampires.
Precision vampire hunting. Xenicus, if you would, sir.
Yes, I'm Michael. I play Xenicus, the Eladrin Blood Hunter, Order of the Lycan. Well, I mean, Xenicus is incredibly upset that his friend turned into a werewolf. Michael is jealous that there's another one.
Conflicting. Okay.
I mean, I just can't do anything to be unique anymore. I mean, it's gonna have to. I mean, maybe I need to be I need to get bit by a wereboar so I can be a wereboar wolf.
It's been done.
Ah, damn, that one's been done. I'll think of something else. But yeah, so he's at the moment on a mission to get that sword sorted so that he can finally stab a vampire.
Indeed. And Lady Vanta Blackspire.
Hello, I am Emma, and I am playing the Irini High Elf, Vanta Blackspire. Vanta comes from a very niche religion where they believe in immortality, but not through your physical body, because that would be disgusting and repulsive. That would be not nice. They believe that you can have an immortal soul, live on in beautiful objects. And Vanta brought some of these objects to Barovia, did not know that they would close the mists, did not know that the perils of Strahd were trapped within them. Sorry, trapped, they wanted to do that, were confined within them. And now was thinking really, really intently about how to address that situation, also whether she would look good in that tattered death shroud.
I mean, probably.
As a little accessory.
She wants it, it's hers.
Definitely make it work.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Maybe.
Thank you. Right, as you are all standing there wondering what has happened, Strahd, you beautiful human being! Prepare to disappear, everyone.
Yo.
I predict a storm of mimic hearts. Not a mimic, just a heart. Evil storm incoming. Okay. Hello, you beautiful people. We are just getting started with our Curse of Strahd game. The penultimate session. I see all you wonderful people. Hey, Lixa, Dana, Daisy, hello. And a blanket burrito. Yummy. What else we got there? Who else is there? Thank you, Dread. I hope you had a fantastic session, and you are very, very well, my friend. It takes me back. Our first raid was also by this fine gentleman. Welcome in, everybody. A pleasure to have you all here, and perfect timing. As our intros are done, all of the thank yous have been shouted out, apart from Dread. Thank you, sir. And it is time to begin. Thank you, Sirenscape. Okay, now we find ourselves in front of the manor house. Yes, looking after the disappearing and rustling bushes that is your recently transformed werewolf friend for the first time, their first full moon, inflicting upon them a unwanted shift of physiology. And you are heading back to the tower?
Vanta is going to make sure that Xenacus is stable.
Yeah.
Because she has that sort of like medical knowledge.
Yeah, he's currently in a kind of on the ground right now from getting blasted by a moonbeam. So.
Then Vanta will lift him up bridal style.
Lovely.
And carry him to the. Do we have the cart near us?
Do we walk here? I don't remember.
You did this time, yes.
Yeah, we did walk.
Well,
But
we're
we now have
there's
the
a
new cart.
Carry him.
I'll help you, Vanta.
We've got the new cart with where your death shroud was.
True.
We don't have any horses though.
No,
Take the
Oh,
horse. Unless you want to pull
It
the
comes
cart.
with a lovely coffin, which I might want to use later.
I mean, would you like the shroud? It's kind of black and lacy. Not really my style, but perhaps, it's got a few
No, I
large
don't
holes
want
in
it. What do you say?
I mean,
It seems to
big
be,
miss out his last race.
it seems to be devoid of murderous tendencies, so that's good.
Picks it up and kind of like
I'll press to digitate the dirt off of it and the blood.
No, it was perfect. Don't.
Thank
Oh.
I can put it back on again. I can either is fine.
It's alright. I'll roll around on the ground. And
Oh,
she
okay.
just rolls.
Noted. Okay. Everyone seems very jolly that Sarah just ran away.
Yeah.
Oh yes, we have just lost our friend. It's quite devastating. We may never see her again.
I have listened.
Oh well.
That's dramatic.
Am I conscious? Yeah, I'm conscious.
Yes,
aren't I?
you did.
You should be, surely. It wasn't that big of a moonbeam.
Yeah, just like in case. I was thinking narratively unconscious. No, like game-ified. But so yeah, we can track her. Don't worry about that. Ow. Thank you, Vanta.
How are you?
Ow.
I'm sure that hurt a lot.
Yep, it did.
It was meant to help you.
Like, unless he's kind of like just
Mostly.
kind of like go near the ground and such, and kind of like seeing the path that she's followed, and there's no way we're gonna catch her like this.
Not
Should
at
we
night
grip
in the
It was
woods.
predetermined.
It's not safe for any of us, except for perhaps you, Xenacus.
She'll. I mean, by the look of her, she'll be fine. Anything else out here is gonna have
Remember-
to be fear of her, not the other way around.
Yes.
Yeah, if she stayed, I think we've had bigger problems.
We need to regroup.
Let's head back for now.
And all things are meant to be. This is exactly what was supposed to happen this night.
Been covered in
No
that,
way
then
around.
yes.
it's one way to look at it.
That's
Either
what
way, we
you need
can't
to
stay.
believe. Then let's go. But we must
must.
get this. We must get rest. We must get safety at night.
It is dark. And you start to make your
Start
way,
power walking.
yes, away from the tumble-down mansion on the hill, back towards the tree line, back towards the Svarich Road, and the way to safety, the Wizard's Tower on Lake Baratok, where your friends are waiting for you. And as you do that, let us remove our scene from your retreating backs for a moment, and whoosh over to the east end of the valley as we pass over the mountains beyond Valaki and up to a vast pillar stone with a large brooding castle crouched atop of it, scowling down on the village of Barovia. And we whoosh in through the archway, through under the portcullis, into the main hall lit by flickering candlelight as Rahadin stands tall and strong, looking at his master, Count Strahd von Zarevich, who paces angrily through the halls of the castle and bursts his way through every door that he comes across. The mongrel folk waiting staff and the staff that you saw, the various vampire spawn and things that are waiting there, some of them are foolish enough to try and approach him in this state, and he just hisses at them and they retreat, scuttling out of the way, the vampire spawn disappearing up the walls back into whatever nooks and crannies they hide away in, and he goes down into the crypts beneath his castle and into a room that you did not visit during your nice little journey through the castle there. And as he opens the doors, you see the glint of many faceted eyes, and you hear the scuttling of many legs as he walks into a room not unlike the one you glimpsed in Argynvostholt, choked with webs and covered with giant spiders. And he hisses at all of them, and they scuttle off into the darkness away from the vampire's wrath. And he starts to wave his hands through the webbing that's immediately by the door, gathering wisps of it, moving it through the air until it's spinning, flying of its own accord. And he's like, "Yes, I will unleash the like of which Barovia has never seen, and hunt down those that took my love from me, and deliver that to none other than my brother. Come forth, Luna Kidna. Come forth. Become whole. Gather your forms. Travel through the forests. Find these heroes and destroy them." And he brings his arms crashing forward, and these wisps of spider web go surging out through the door, through the corridors, past the routes that he took through, all of those busted open doorways, wide open, out into the evening air of this Barovian night. And as they do, they go up over the castle walls and down towards the forests of the Svalek woods below, dashing down between the trees, floating through like so many ethereal, like ghostly creatures. And as they do, you see in this, what we see in the Svalek woods here, more webbing of these spiders as they live down here in the forests, in the hollows, in the nooks and crannies of this tortured area of Barovia. And as the webbings go through the trees, they impact against other webs, and they gather more webbing to themselves, and they go around the trees, up into the branches, collecting more and more of these spiders' webs that decorate all of the trees like so many Halloween decorations. And as they gather more and more webbing to themselves, they head further and further west, catching more form, getting more substantial. And as we glimpse above the trees an abbey on top of a mountaintop, a snowy scene, Kresk nestled at the foot of that hill, waiting there, we see these forms start to take on a humanoid shape. Legs and arms spreading wide as they clutch onto the branches and the trunks of the trees at the edge of a dirt road. The edge of the Svalek road. Not deserted, for there is a small group moving along it. And we see what is about to happen, for we've already seen the results of what happened, as we see the Baroness of Krisk and her small force of town guard making their way along the edge of the Svalek woods towards Valaki in search of something to appease the abbot up at the monastery, that they can bring their son back from death. And as these humanoid, spidery, spider silk beings clamber over the branches and trunks of the trees, they leap out towards the unsuspecting band. And you saw what happened. As you discovered Esmeralda, reborn, looking up at the trees, festooned with the macabre decorations of the Baroness and her guards, torn to pieces and hung from the trees. But that was a while ago. And this is now. And you make your way across the causeway, the lapping of the waters of Lake Baratok, with a bunch of rather perturbed fish, as they were briefly made aware of everything that was going on by wild magic surges and various other things going on here. And you hear the clank, clank, clank of Daph. Is it Cubert? I think it was Cubert, wasn't it?
Cubert.
It was Cubert, wasn't it? As you see the form of Cubert, the Modron, summoned by that same wild magic, clanking around the tower, forever on guard. And you do see what we were mentioning before, a rather French-looking horse, as much as a horse can be French, without a barrier. Yeah, Daph, Cubert's doing well. And you see Maxine as she turns towards all of you and smiles in only the way a horse can as she sees you're all safe and well. Ah, my friends! It is good to see you are back and all alive. Wait a minute. You have come back with that one of your friends once more. What are you doing, you crazy fools? What has happened to Asara? Has she shacked up with some other bold adventurers?
Has she? No, that's
Not as
not
far as we're
anything.
aware.
I see. Well, you must enter the tower at once and tell Ayamaris, who some of you may know as Van Richten, just what is going on. At once! Feet!
Oh, but
Amos is in town.
who refers to him as Van Richten these days? I swear it's just I Morris. Oh well.
And you enter back inside, and you do see within the familiar faces of Ayamaris, Stella Wakta, who you saved from Valaki, a little Arakokra child you also saved from petrification and other foul magics in Valaki, and you add to the mix with your little werewolf puppers. Everyone jumps on in here.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the
Hello,
conversations.
all.
I think we did this bit last week. didn't we?
Hello, orphans. We did, yeah.
I remember all the kids being there. Not that I actually said
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, orphan.
I think.
Oh.
Hello, orphans.
Hey, orphans.
I think Vanta will turn to the others and say, "Shall we go and plan
Yes.
our escapades, Kay?"
Zeneca Sayamaris pulls you aside. He's like, whatever you are going to do, you better do it quick. Is the sword not ready yet? It was the last
No.
piece. Didn't Madame Eva foretell that it was going to be used by you?
Yes, I have it, but it's not done yet. It must be taken to Kresk to be awoken.
You can't travel tonight. It's not safe.
No,
Wait until the morning.
Yes, that's why we came here, for safety. Unfortunately, that full moon you predicted came a little bit quicker than we thought.
It's rather treacherous to try and gather what's going to happen with the lunar cycles here. Look, you must head out first thing. You must get this sorted. And we must set things in motion. Where was it we were supposed to go once everything is prepared?
The mother's tomb.
Within Castle Ravenloft itself.
I mean, unless you know of another mother.
If only you'd killed Babalai Saga, then maybe that would have counted.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
we could
Greg.
have-
I'm sorry.
Oh,
How
goodness.
do you know that happened?
I told them!
We have had this conversation.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anta goes.
And you, Yeah, Zenicus, Imars tells you that there have been more sightings of those strange, ghostly white beings. Ghostly white. It's like the colour of spider silk. I think it is. These strange, ghostly white beings is the word I was looking for, skittering along the tree line, not just at floor level, but also up in the branches and stuff along the edge of the woods. And now, you are told something even more perturbing, as while you were away this time, there was something heard, not seen, off in the trees. Dear Dave, thank you so much. As you are told by Imaris that they heard something huge crashing through the trees, out of sight. It didn't come to the water's edge, and they couldn't see what it was, and they didn't want to go and look. But there was something very large on the move as well. So, are you all going to take a long rest?
Vanta wants to pull everyone aside before that.
Go for it.
She'll just say, friends of mine, this might be one of the last times we have a quiet moment together, so let's huddle in this corner. Remember how we huddled here to discuss the fate of Irina? Well, now we're discussing the fates of ourselves. She brings out the box again. I don't get deja vu. Sorry to speak in undercommon just then, but we do have a matter to discuss, and that is, should this be the last time we have to actually, prepare? Do we want to tell the king and the queen that we're in Barovia and see if they can help us out at all?
Yes.
I mean,
Absolutely.
They deserve to know.
but be careful and be aware that you may have to slam that shut if they decide to not help us. Just be aware that that might happen if they choose the wrong side.
They've been my faithful friends and companions for many, many, many isolated years. I'm sure they wouldn't do that.
Of course.
Must have
It was a small chance, just preparing you just in case.
Thank you, Jerry.
Well, let's do this. So they say. Do you guys have any questions for them? I can bury them through. Or if you just mention them as we go through the conversation, I'll pass them on.
I'm sure we'll think of many.
What was Strahd afraid of as a child?
Does
What
he have
was
any?
Strahd afraid of as a child?
Does he have any glaring weaknesses?
Fears, glaring weaknesses.
Blind on the left
Okay.
side, for example. That would be very useful.
Blindness, etc. What is his strongest vice? Yes, perhaps he has a fondness for cycling. We could destroy his bike collection.
Does he like
We could
cheese?
poison his water supply. Does he like cheese? Esmeralda, anything?
They know him better than anybody else. Presumably, at least when he was younger. They're the one. If they can tell us anything about what might even slow him down and make him pause for half a second, that might be all we need to strike.
Right.
So,
Brilliant. Okay. So Vanta will put the box down and look at all her friends. And she'll open it.
where are you in the
Slowly.
tower? Are you in the base of it, or are you up in the top room?
I presume you're in the top
Maybe up
room.
in the top room, did we
Okay.
say?
So yeah, the golems activate the elevator. You all make your way up to that room, with its rather drafty interior after Vanta busted out of the top floor in a dramatic fashion.
Krieg, do you still have the amulet of Ravenkind?
I do. I'll hand it back to
Just in
Vanta.
case. Oh, okay. I might show it to you. She opens the box. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello.
Who are you addressing?
I'm addressing King Barov and Queen Ravnovia. Your Majesties, if I could talk to you both at once, I know that's quite irregular.
Yes, Vanta dear. What is it? Yes, are you okay, child? What is it?
Well, I haven't been okay for a very long time, and I think it's about time I opened up to you about all of that. So, first things first, just reminding you that we have been allies, colleagues, you know, for such a long time. I would even say we're friends. Yes. And you know that I would never do anything aside from the Raven Queen's will, which is in all of our best interests. Yes.
Indeed.
Indeed.
It's okay, dear. Just say what's on your mind.
I know your names. Barov and Ravnovia.
That's correct, yes.
Well, I actually found out where those names come from.
Really?
And I'm there right now. And your son is pursuing me at great speed. He is also a vampire. We've trapped everybody in this town, in this place. There's lots of mists around. I have this. I show it.
Vanta rushes in.
I do the...
Yeah, like breathing exercises. Come on, Vanta.
What I'm trying to say is, we are in Barovia, and we are here to seal your son in an object much like you have been yourselves. He doesn't like this.
The king's voice speaks first. Barovia.
Barovia.
Can't say I've ever heard of it. And
So have you heard?
Ravnovia says, dear, it is because you unfortunately passed away before I did. Our son conquered a valley and named it after us, Vanta, not the other way around.
Oh, I see. That's so lovely. Oh, Ravnovia, Barov, it makes sense.
Yes.
He's terrible. He's a tyrant.
I was traveling there to meet him. I was with his old nursemaid. She was looking after me as my health was failing. Unfortunately, I was never destined to arrive, and I did not make the journey.
That's true.
I was too frail.
Yes, the Raven Queen needed you.
Yes, I'm sure. But you say, you've met our son? Have you met both of them? They were both there in the valley.
Oh, well, so Strahd had us for dinner.
I see. He was very civil, yes. His manners were impeccable.
He has gone through a change of sorts. I'm not talking about puberty, but I am talking instead of
he was a fully grown man when he went to the valley, so I hope not.
I'm talking instead of a more vampiric change. He's a vampire. And
What tragedy befell our son?
One moment. Guys, help me on this one. How did he become a vampire? Did he know?
Vanta.
Yes.
Wait,
Yes.
he had a brother, right?
As you look up to your friends who are standing watching this happen, unable to hear the other side of the conversation, you see past them, as they are all huddled between you and the opening in the wall, there are two figures, crouched, perched, you might say, in the opening as you see two Shadakai
Yes, I knew it.
silently observing everything going on.
Trent, how exactly did Strahd become a vampire again? Can you remind me? And then in Sylvan, I'll say, also, we're not alone, just bear that in mind.
You turn around and the two figures are just silently sat there, impassively watching the scene.
Vanta.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need to share that story.
Oh, okay.
One of your friends.
And they point at the box.
One of your friends is being rather coy with you.
Do you have a fish in there?
Oh, that would be interesting, but I don't. Perhaps I
visit
could
the
carve...
hobgoblin
No.
tribes. The ornamental guns.
Vanta will say, Your Majesties, I am afraid I don't know this information. And I'm just kind of like listening out and keeping an eye on how they respond to me, and I want to sort of see if I could insight check them.
Please.
Let me just check the Twitch. Do I have an advantage? I do have a cheeky advantage. I needed it. Insight is 17.
Okay. King Barov blusters.
How are we supposed to know what's going on here and what has happened to our sons if you won't share the information you have? Vanta, after all that we've given to you, please give something back.
And the Queen speaks up. It's okay, dear. If she doesn't know, she doesn't know. I believe that probably answers
Do
your
you know
question.
anything, Your Majesty?
No,
Addressing
nothing at all.
the
Why would I? I
Addressing
died
the-
before the whole
the
thing
Queen.
happened.
King Barov, it's been lovely talking to you, but I'm just going to address your wife right now. Goodbye. And I pushed the gauntlet aside, like, I'm sorry!
Like one finger of the gauntlet, like holds on to the Queen's object just as long as just...
It looks like this. He's like, fuck you!
There's the finger.
Your Majesty, Queen.
Yes, Fanta. Yes, dear.
Do you know why you have this life?
This...
It is by the grace of the Raven Queen herself that you are able to speak with me right now. I could release you to oblivion if you like, but I probably don't want to do that.
Maybe
Probably.
an intimidation check.
So,
With advantage.
I don't have... Ah! Ooh! 15 plus nothing, 15.
Okay. Now, Vanta dear, let's not be too drastic. There's no need for such things.
I pick up the locket and pull it out of the box, and I'm just dangling it in front of me as she speaks.
Queens talk. We often share information, diplomatic channels behind our fat-headed husbands' backs.
Mm-hmm.
And the Raven Queen was no different. She charged us with being here with you. To ensure that you are in the right place at the right time, with the right people.
Mm-hmm.
For it is you, Vander. You that can put a stop to our monster of a son.
Seeing you.
We are not very far away, you know. Beyond that mist, even though there's no way through. Just beyond those mists, the Queen in her castle, the Shadowfell, their home. The locket twists towards the Shadow guy. It's all...
I'm saying verbatim everything that the Queen is saying to
That's
me,
fine.
just to the others, so they know.
Okay.
It's all right there. She's so close, but so far away. It's...
You hear Sarah in the distance.
It's on you, Vander Blackspire. The last of your order. It's on you to deal with Strahd. Lock him away in a vessel such as ours. It's on you to imprison him so that the gatekeepers, the lock bearers, those that would torture him and punish him for all that he has done, all that our son has done. You can appease them. You can offer an alternative and allow our queen, the Raven Queen, to claim this place as her own.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Do you say that bit?
Yes.
Okay. It shall be free. If your friends are able to, if they can do what is needed to return it to its home, it can return to those mountains near where your father's remains lie. I do not know where mine are. The nursemaid. I do not know what she did after I passed away. She was unable to save me. She seems to be unknowing of Lysida's true nature. Look. You know the ritual.
Mm-hmm.
You must go to the place that was foretold by Madame Eva.
Mm-hmm.
The cards hold true power. If you confront him, if you are able to hold back his minions, hold back the Dark Lord, my son himself, long enough to complete the ritual, you can fashion a new prison for him. A new place where you can watch over him and keep him shut away, paying for what he did to poor Sergei.
I knew I could trust you.
You have my thanks. We felt Sergei's happiness as you reunited him with Tatiana. Or whatever she's calling
That was
herself
my
these
friend.
days.
None of us work alone.
Now, Vander Blackspire, enough of this chit-chat. You have all that you need. You have all the people
you need. Take your friends. Take the artifacts that have been given to you, and you have retrieved from around this cursed place.
Is that all we need to slow him down? Is there anything else?
It's all you have. Look to your friends. Xenacus, Esmeralda, Ayamaris. They are learned in the ways of vampires. And if anyone can quash the gifts of vampire, it is they. There is no time. My son is angry. He shall not rest until he is either imprisoned or you are all dead.
The Raven Queen decides from here. We just do the best we can.
Indeed. I'm sure it'll be an epic moment.
Too badass. Oh, I've almost forgot. Does he like cheese?
He detests the stuff. But not in any debilitating way, just in a regular way. Whatever it is you choose to do, I'm sure it will be worthy of stories and tales to be embodied in the creations of artists and bards alike. There is a very talented fellow in Waterdeep. I wonder if he still lives. His name was Evan. A marvelous artist indeed. Everyone should head over to his studio. It's on Twitch Street, I believe, in Waterdeep. Hey, Donovan. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Not at all. All the best, dear. Excuse my deception. And feel free to keep my husband in the dark.
I shall. I close the box. We have everything we need. We are enough. Well, Kresk. And then the mother's tomb.
Yes.
It saves us digging a hole. I need a grave for the ritual.
There were coffins beyond that shimmering force that you saw there.
You have the vessel that you intend to use.
Yes.
I think. Do you know what, John? I know that we have a prophesized vessel, but after everything that I've seen from Strahd, I wonder if I might use something different, and I want to pick up the puppet.
It's always been the puppet. That's why I was laughing.
Yeah, that's sort of the puppet.
Let that too, yeah.
There was no prophesized vessel. This whole idea of the ritual and everything was all off your own back. This is nothing to do with Madame Ava. Yeah.
I genuinely thought it was supposed to be the amber spearhead. Hell yeah! I pick up the puppet and I say, I think I will enjoy this very much.
And I think it will be a just punishment for all eternity.
Yes. Krieg has been given visions of the amber spearhead and how that could be future useful.
Sure.
As opposed to present useful.
Mm-hmm.
So, you may all take the benefits of a long rest as your comrades and friends look after you as you slumber, safe within the walls of the Wizard's Tower. No resolution. And you awaken to the daylight such as it is in this perpetually mist-enshrouded, dreary-skied corner of Ravenloft. Grisk.
To Kresk.
Gresk.
Also, we must speak to our ally, do we not? Quick.
How?
Wasn't that your prophecy?
Yeah. Yeah.
The wolf in the west?
Yes.
Indeed.
The Burgomaster. Kresk.
Of Kresk, yeah.
A bit quiet, Mike.
Going
Keep
that
the
way.
mic in a bit closer.
The Burgomaster of Kresk, we're going that anyway.
That's him. 2 birds with 1 stone. Ah, wait, that's
why-
in bad taste.
Yeah, I mean, I look down at the thing, I'm like, I don't think I could hit you both.
You turn around, Keith is hefting a decent-sized pebble from the bank of the lake. So I could do it. I could do it.
I believe in you, Keith.
I used to get like milk churns and stuff all the time back in Daggerford.
Just wait till their backs are turned.
You should have heard the rhythm of the things bouncing off the.
Don't do that to me again.
Sorry. And Keith Moon gives up on throwing a pebble at Greg. Skims it perfectly across in a rhythmical fashion.
Does
across
this?
the water of the lake. And you jump into Esmeralda's wagon and make your way through the Svalek woods.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Are you though?
Well, we're as good as can be.
Okay.
Well, we don't explode the cart.
No.
You better
thought-
not.
like,
Stop in
I-
here.
This time. Yeah.
Camera lagged like a little bit, so there was a pause after John, after you said, so you all get in Esmeralda's cart, so it sounded
I
like
was about
really
to.
kind of.
No, you're good. You're good. All right. Thank you. Now, let me bring you over to the map so we can see. And everyone at home, welcome on, everyone. Fabulous to have you all here. Thanks to all you raiders who stuck around. Always a pleasure. And everyone else who's there as well. Good to see you. Sorry, excuse us being in the moment and involved with what's going on here, as we are in our penultimate session here, and time's a ticking. So you make your way, yes, along the old Svalek road, and you round that corner in the trees and see that wide open space with the tree stumps jutting up from where the forest was cleared up to the walls of the small town at the base of the mountain, with the abbey perched piously above. You approach the gates and are recognized and waved in. Hey, come here.
Doesn't change.
Shall we split up the task? Let's get this done as quickly as possible.
Are they close together?
I mean, Grisk
Well.
is a small place.
Yeah, got the lake down there, and
Not too far.
okay. Shall we get the lake's on the way? Shall we get this done?
I think that's to stay together. We're this close.
So you're looking for the Burgomaster?
The lake for the brother.
The pool?
Yeah.
That's
There's a well,
very
wasn't it?
generous. Yeah, very generous.
Was it? I always got.
Small lake.
Or like a fountain or something?
It's a small
think
pool
it was- I thought it was a
at the base of the cliff with a gazebo,
Really?
a dreaded gazebo on its.
I
flank.
That's why
always-
I thought it was a well.
That's
I always
tiny.
had like this image of like a lake coming out from the side of the town.
No.
That's why I was confused. I was like, why are we
No, it's like
behind?
a pond
How
inside
can,
the walls.
that's why I was so confused. Like, how can we be behind the walls? It's a whole lake behind the walls. That doesn't make any
That's
sense.
a tiny little pool.
That makes sense.
I think it's on the map.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring it
A
back.
wee poo.
Bring it back. Okay. Where are you, Grisk? Seriously, where are you? Oh, there. Now this, I haven't preloaded this one, sorry, so bear with us folks while my computer figures it out.
Ah,
See?
it's tiny. A pond. Well, off to the pond then.
He's referring to this, but you can still make it out without it focusing yet. Yes, this small pool of water is what.
I mean, it wants to be a lake.
Are you heading straight there?
One day.
You said it's on the way, so are you going to see the Burgomaster at his cottage?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
presumed that the because we went there first last time. I presumed that we dealt with that.
I believe it's that one right by the gate.
Oh, is it that one?
I think so. I think that's what's mentioned in the module. It is now.
Cool. Then we'll do that first then.
And you go there, and there's a rather dour-looking housekeeper, and she's sweeping the porch as you approach. And she looks up and scowls.
He's not here.
Oh,
What happened?
well, I mean, I'm sure he's a busy man.
Busy
Any
mourning.
idea where he is?
Busy mourning his lady wife. His wife
Oh?
and the guards. After they left the town whilst you were here before, were butchered. The Burgomaster is at their grave.
Oh.
Up on the pool's edge.
And you remember last time there was a collection of graves for those that did not want to be buried up at the Abbey.
I mean, that makes sense.
Very.
But these were the graves that you were told were disturbed and robbed.
Well,
Oh, thank you for the information. I'm sure we'll see him on our travels.
Shh. Shh. Shh.
And for what it's worth, I'm sorry for your loss.
Indeed.
And she nods, and you make your way through the trees. Remember, you see from the map here, it's very, very forested inside here because they want to be self-sufficient as far as firewood and things go. And they see the various livestock as well that they have in the walls, chickens and pigs and the like. And glimpsed through the trees, you can see that ominous building, the abbey up above all of this here. And as you make your way over to the northern end of the town, you do find yourselves approaching the pool where Irina was reunited with her soulmate, Sergei, at the shores, and where you were bade to return to, which you had the sun swords built. Now, off at the side, you see the cluster of graves, several of which are very fresh and new, with pristine headstones. And you see an exhausted-looking Burgomaster, slumped, sitting on the ground, his back leaning against one of the gravestones. Half asleep, if not all the way. What did you do?
Head in that direction, but not obviously trying to force our way in or anything, just keeping us safe, a respectable distance until he notices and acknowledges us in any way.
He becomes aware of you approaching, and his head snaps up, and he half shouts, half snarls, as you know him to be a werewolf as well.
Yeah.
Who are you? Stay away! You won't. No. Okay. It's all of you. I'm afraid this is not a good time.
We're sorry for your loss.
You've heard.
Incredibly.
We're on our way to, in a way, get revenge for what happened.
She's out.
Oh, yes. does that? How could you possibly stand against the wrath of our Lord and Master?
With the help of his brother.
I beg your pardon.
Strahd's...
Maybe you should come with us and watch.
Yes. I think that
I'd rather not stray too far. Where are you going?
we're just down there to the water.
Oh, shit. Thank you, Patch. Not thank you, Alex, as I mistakenly said before. You scumbag. My brother-in-law, everybody.
I mean, I'm thankful for your brother-in-law.
Yep.
Candlekeep is 2 days away, thug. This DM shall remember. No worries. Could come in useful. And you, yes, head back towards the edge of the sacred pool, blessed by Saint Marcrovia herself.
I go into my bag and take out the hilt and kind of put my hand in the water. I mean, I should probably wade in a little bit and
It's
say the name.
icy cold and it's rather stingy. But yes, you do
And
that.
I'll call his name, which is Steve.
Oh,
It's in this
And a
book
big
somewhere.
catfish pops up.
Yeah, Steve the catfish. Oh, that's wafty. It's not wafty.
no, it is not wafty.
That's our airwolf.
Uh-huh. It's here somewhere. Oh, okay. I mean, feel free to help me out here.
I've said it several times this evening already.
Yeah. but it's-
Okay.
Sergey.
Sergey. Yeah, that instantly went out of my head.
No worries.
Like, all just left me there to fail. Thank you very much,
I mean,
everyone.
you had your notes.
I had to
I
find-
was reading
had to
something of my
pull
own
up
to prepare for the scene.
I know.
Sorry.
I don't expect the DM to do that without me asking specifically to the DM, but I expected
I had
my
to
friends
go-
to help.
It just you were struggling so much. How could we not?
I will say, Sergey, time has come.
As you wade into the water and bring forth the hilt of the sun sword and dip it into the water, you kind of steel yourself and force yourself not to jump out of the water as you see the ethereal form of Sergey, his hair wafting in the water around his face, rising up from the depths of this seemingly shallow pool. Maybe from the depths of somewhere else. As he rises up and stops just below the surface, raising a hand tentatively towards the hilt. My old friend. Were that I could make you whole again. And you feel a surge of familiarity and joy from the hilt of the sword.
I will hold it out. Kinda not with the blade part toward me, but sideways, just in case it lightsabers me.
Sergei's face looks up, shifting and rippling with the water above his face between the two of you. He looks up at you, standing there. Thank you for retrieving this. I wish I could make it the weapon it once was, and you could turn it on my brother. But I can make it more useful than this.
curse the name Kazan and all he did.
Curse the name. Curse the name.
You recognize that?
Yeah, I know Kazan. We were using their tower.
That is Kazan's tower where you are taking refuge, yes.
Kazan's gone.
Mighty spellcaster.
Too late. The damage has been done already. It was he who heeded my brother's word.
Thank you, Tamio. Tell me if that's better. I'll try and be a bit noisier. Okay, so I'm doing ghostly voices in the watery depths. Thanks for the heads up. Turn the music down a bit. Okay, thanks, Tamio.
It was Kazan that heeded my brother's word and took my blade, my beautiful sun sword. It had such a wondrous crystal blade, but that foul wizard was able to detach it and destroy it for his master's bidding. But whilst he was distracted and at the task, one of his apprentices stole away the hilt. It is the hilt that is the sentient part that bears the soul of the sun sword.
Looking a bit more tentative now at the hilt.
Unfortunately, the apprentice was found mauled and mutilated in the forest shortly after. The hilt, however, was gone for good. We thought never to be seen again until today. And again, you have my thanks.
Anything that can help take down your brother is worth doing.
Indeed. And trust me, this blade wants nothing more.
And you can just feel this resentment and thirst for revenge from the blade, from the hilt of the sword. Sorry.
Now, let me do what Markovia has allowed me to do, and aid you in ridding this veil of my cursed sibling.
And he reaches up. And places a soft, pale hand on the hilt.
There you are. Time to return to the fight, my friend. I'm afraid I cannot, but I believe these people, they are the ones who shall take the battle to my brother's front yard. Rise. Take what of me you will. Take my force, my energies. Use them to imbue this hilt with a power that it once held in my palm. Take the fights back. Drive back the Dark Lord who holds this place in his sway. Come forth, Sun Sword. Shine once more. Cast your light on this
blighted veil. And as he does so, a spark emanates from his ethereal hand, and the whole vision of Sergei becomes slightly less evident, slightly less visible, as he seems to give up part of himself. And as the spark slowly drifts over, it connects with the hilts that you bear in your hands, and it starts to spread across the section of the hilt where the blade once joined. And as it does so, it starts to elongate and grow longer into that of a mighty great sword. A mighty great sword of pure sunlight. The energy thrumming through your very bones. And you feel the spirit of the sword. You feel the elation. You feel the hatred. You feel the urgency to return, to take the fight to the Dark Lord of Barovia, to take the fights back, destroy he who would hold this place in his gauntleted fist, setting free all those he has subjugated to his rule, his cruelty. Revenge all the poor adventurers that came before you, and destroy he who would hold sway over the people of this land. And you are charged with bearing this blade in Sergei's name, in Barovia's name. And you and your friends can use this, as foretold by Madame Eva, to hold back the anger of Strahd and give Lady Vanta Blackspire the time she needs to complete the ritual and imprison his soul forevermore. In the name of the Raven Queen, forever and ever, our fucking men.
That was really, really cool.
Sorry, I'm having far too much fun with
I
that
just wanted
track.
to say that.
Is once a week too much?
Not at all.
Did I say my second cousin's in that orchestra? I know I
Really?
have. Oh, someone who hadn't heard that story.
Oh, no!
Surely not.
No, certainly not.
Yes, that is the BBC Philharmonic with my second cousin on cello.
Yes. Yes.
So, what do I add?
Of course you've heard it. It is the Sun Sword, all one word.
Okay, some sword. I think that's it.
How come Mom lets you have?
I think.
two
Oh, actually,
sentient
no.
weapons?
Actually, wait. Sorry, mate. It is the Sun Blade. Sorry, the Sun Sword is just the kind of character of the blade itself, the hilt. It was originally the Sun Sword. It is now a Sun Blade. Cheers, Charlie.
This sun sword comes up as well as an item.
Yeah, but it's just flavour. There's no mechanics on it. I don't think. I mean, give it a try. Maybe it works.
Sure.
The spirit. I like this. It is a sentient, chaotic good weapon. Oh, cheers, Charlie. Sorry, I missed that. Thank you so much.
You got a good weapon.
I was rather swept up.
I want to be angry with that, Charlie, but I can't be. It's too good.
All right. So, you turn back to your friends and that cow.
I'm watching this whole scene.
It's just chewing the cud, passive, just impassive, doesn't care. And you turn back, and the Burgomaster is on his knees. Tears surging down his cheeks into his massive beard. You have surely been sent by Markovia herself, summoned from beyond the mists. My friends, I think you are the ones. I'm not going to lie, there have been many before who have failed miserably. But
with this blessing, this beacon. Much like whatever that is, and he points to this massive column of silver light over above the trees. So they were to the east.
That was us too.
That
was us too.
yesterday.
That was us.
Made me feel that much better.
Yeah.
Still pretty sad, wife eviscerated, but...
But
Animal.
More like eradicated.
last time I was here, I shout, raising my voice over Vanta. I promised the dawn would come, and points towards the giant light in the sky.
The sun's name is Dawn.
It's certainly a start. It casts
God,
sunlight. It casts sunlight for 15 feet. So,
I know, I meant the big one
the beacon.
The
from
beacon.
Argamos. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah. The sword also blazing light.
Yes, indeed.
Now I wield it.
You can. Okay, so you got that. Okay, you found it.
Yeah, I found it.
Cool.
Yeah. It's weird how the one with just personality and no stats is classed as legendary, but the one with all the mechanics is only rare.
It is a shadow of its former self. What can I say?
True.
It casts a shadow too. Now, you. Yes, you say your piece to the burgomaster, and he shakily gets to his feet. You're right. We have hidden behind these walls for too long. It's time we rise up. And he goes down on one knee again this time, not two knees in a kind of reverential way, but a kind of a knightly way. Goes down on one knee. I, and the powers that you know I have, are yours. Shut up, chicken. I'm trying to do something important. If you'll have me, I would join you to defend my people and those of the rest of us scattered through this valley. I don't know how much or how long I'll be able to stand in the face of the Dark Lord. But with my last breath, I shall work towards your successes.
We need everyone in this fight. All of us should come together to defeat this evil.
And he leads you through the village, back to his place. And you see that same dour-looking housekeeper standing on the mantle with a set of armor in her hands. Figured. And she helps him don his armor, which has nice kind of elasticated bits on the side, so when he grows into a well-foot, still, it goes with him.
Oh my god, iconic.
That's why I wear leather because of that issue, so I'm glad that he's found a solution to it.
I was like, oh yes, you should meet my tailor, come blacksmith. He's great, works wonders. No, and you set out once more from Krisk back into the Svalek woods with a new comrade, a prophesized comrade, as Madame Ava's Taroka reading is complete.
Yep.
That's everyone.
We did it, guys. We're powerful.
The four of you on Esmeralda's wagon, and the burgomaster on it's a cart horse.
A horse.
It's a cart horse,
It's
not
a
a war
pony,
horse by
it's
any means.
a poncy.
More than a pony. That would struggle under this large gentleman's presence.
Somebody get this man a pony.
It's summoned magic. I'm sure if she tries hard enough, she can make a ward horse.
We can make it a big pony.
No, he has
Anyway,
he has his own horse from the village,
Oh, okay.
but it is a cart horse. And you make your way back towards the tower, I assume.
Yes, we'll go via there. See if any, I don't know, maybe there's any magics or something that AMRS can put on us before we leave? Some sort of warding spells or something he might have.
Fingers crossed.
Grigg is gonna take this opportunity, sitting next to Xenakis on a cart. He's gonna kind of go like, and like point at the lost sword.
Which Xenakis had sneakily already attached to your belt when you weren't paying attention.
Well done. You foiled my alertness.
So I wonder.
Asara would have spotted. Sound like the Viva la Dirt League NPC guy. Please, adventurer, you must save me from this.
Sounds more like Goofy.
Oh, you haven't seen Balin's Route? You have to watch Balin's Route.
Oh, yeah. Good day for fishing, huh?
Oh.
He just caught on.
Indeed.
Anyway.
Now, anything else as you make your way through the woods with the ethereal yet feisty horses?
Definitely on top, swishing this about, like getting a feel for it, and just like, oh, this is so cool.
It's beautifully balanced.
As I was watching, and as she... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, as all things should be. But you got...
I was going to look up and just be like, strange men lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Just keep that in mind. Just go back inside.
Just look at the Bergman. Wait, am I king now? I'm the king! I definitely do like the stance where like legs out, holding the sword up, proper like original Star Wars poster. Like saber up.
Nice. ADH.
Nice.
Yes. Watery bint! I want to watch Holy Grail now. Okay.
Is there anything else we need to prepare before we arrive in Mother's Tomb?
The horse has thoughts.
Someone has an idea.
That very vital piece of information goes unknown.
Maxine, can you translate?
Maxine!
She just drops down from the canopy. What is it, my friends?
Where'd you come from?
I've been shadowing your progress. No.
Like I just got that like the idea of the Shadow Kai and like going through the trees and then turn around and the horse like follow them jumping between the trees.
I feel like she always does 3-point landings when she jumps.
Oh definitely. No, she does that the superhero stance where she jumps with like one hand down.
That's
yeah.
The fist down.
3-point landing.
Oh, that yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Exactly that.
Indeed. Oh right.
Well,
yes.
What if I shared with you all the basics of the ritual? I probably shouldn't share everything, otherwise, I don't want you to be surprised.
You don't want us to be surprised.
Of course not. I've never wanted that once in my entire life. Indeed.
Horse doesn't believe you.
Well, anyway,
Boost.
I'm quiet.
Yes, I boosted you.
Oh my! Okay. So, friends, how the ritual goes is this. I first, of course, usually would dig a grave in honor of said person who will become immortal. And then whatever artifact it is that we are using is the vessel to be placed inside. And then, you see, I will begin my Raven Queen top secret chanting and prayers to summon her, guidance and magic to this place, and then consecrate the ground and hopefully enthrall the target into just popping in the grave themselves, or at least pulling in their spirit willingly. And then boom, we're done.
Bish bash
Is there
bosh.
anything we need to do as part of this ritual, or just defend you?
I think if you attempted to be incredibly encouraging, to an appeal to Strahd's soul somehow, to say, hey, you could get in here and follow the Raven Queen, and that would be wonderful.
I mean, my intention was just to cut the soul from the body, but I mean that could also work.
I like that. That's brilliant. Yes. No, that would be
Could come to
brilliant.
that. I can't think of him actually doing it any other way.
Okay then. Let us cut the soul from his immortal form.
How close do you need to be?
Krieg? Well, his soul needs to enter the ritual space. So if you could just like, spooky, if you could just push him in willingly.
How large is this space?
Grave-sized.
Maybe the mothers too.
I assume you'll use. Yes, I think that would work well, so long as he chooses, you know, that the soul is freed from the body. That's fine. I think in this case we can bend the rules of what is choosing to become part of this object. The Raven Queen will see what is, you know, applicable and judge herself.
Esmeralda, you should have reached the tower by now.
You're not there yet. Is there any sign of it? As in, how close are we to where it should be?
You
Would
should
we
have.
be able to see through the trees, or we should have seen it like the
You
road?
should have arrived. You should have reached the fork in the road that goes off towards the causeway.
And there's no fork.
You haven't come across one now. Just
Craig?
creaking, shifting trees of the Svalek woods.
Craig, we should be there by now. Can you fly up and see if you can see the tower anywhere? Something's not right.
Krieg, you look up, about to beat your wings and have a look. Trees, branches are arching over the road, forming a solid ceiling. I say solid. Not able to fly through.
Solid enough that, yeah, I don't think I can reach that. That wasn't there before.
No, it wasn't.
I
Under
think
the
we've got
start.
company.
Indeed. What kind, though, is the question. Do we hear or see anything else besides just the trees acting strange?
You do.
Lovely.
I don't like that.
Remember the
Gesundheit.
sound effects?
Bless you.
Is there a gallows?
As you round the corner of these trees,
Oh my god!
these unfamiliar forests paths to you, you find yourself approaching a crossroads, not the branch off to the tower on Lake Baratok. And standing on opposite sides of the crossroads is a small walled-off area of unmarked graves. And facing it, a platform. A platform with a gallows atop it. And as the wagon moves forward, how can this be? This is way beyond Vallaki, through the Barovian gates, down towards Madame Eva's encampments and the village of Barovia. There's no way you could have gone that far. And yet, here you are. The gallows, lit faintly from this distance by a new sword. And the bedraggled cloak and hanging limbs of a corpse. Dark skin. White hair.
No.
Their face hidden as a corpse slowly swings from the crossbeam.
It's not her. It's not her. It can't be.
What do you do?
Oh, we won't fall for that again.
You fell for this the last time.
The last time.
Last time it was Fanta.
And we got
17
ambushed by wolves.
Like I'm eyes on the kind of tree line right now, and also like up above in cases, like because I mentioned that kind of weird stuff. Keeping an eye out.
Air wolves.
As you go closer, you enter into the junction of the crossroads. You do recognize Azara's clothes, but torn, with long, ragged claw marks cutting through the fabric and into the flesh, which you can see through the destroyed clothing. And you can see the long, jagged cuts and raking, inflicted wounds all over this gently swinging corpse.
It's not her.
Vanta,
Yes.
a glimpse of white off between the branches. It's gone.
I want to do a general perception check for the area because I can't see that thing anymore.
Please.
It's 21. 14 plus 7.
Now that you focus, looking away from this rather captivating view in front of you, you drag your eyes away and look around. More glimpses here and there. North, south, east, west. White, skittering behind the trunk of a tree. Up into branches, hidden, leering over the scene.
Wolves. Ghosts.
I instantly put the blade up and increase the radius of the light to 30 feet bright, 30 feet dim after that, so total 60 maximum rank. Trying to see what's going on.
As all of you look around you, at the trees crowding in on this scene, you all start to see glimpses of white. As large, humanoid, and yet spider-like creatures crawl round the sides of the trees to either side of you. Behind you, from the way you came, ahead of you, up on the bluffs, above the road.
Yeah, no.
What is that?
This is a Luna Kidna from our good friends at Cobalt Press.
Yeah, nah.
Can I make an insight check? I want to see if they are aggressive or if they are here to escort us somewhere.
I don't think you need to. From everything you've heard from IMRS and everything about what's been going on, you just feel a sense of utter evil from these creatures as they clamber around the sides of the trees towards all of you. Oh, I missed one.
You could have, we wouldn't have minded.
Of course.
Sorry, everyone, you can't see on chat, but there's a lot of them. as they, seemingly made of spider silk, and yet humanoid. Let's give you a better view, shall we? Sorry.
I'm now giving off 30 feet of bright light, and then another 30 of dim.
I'm Emma giving off 30 feet of intense fear and then 60 feet of regular fear from the sounds.
That's it. Just Sirenscape lets me do something. Sorry, Sirenscape. No, not this is not Sirenscape. It's just as soon as Roll20 lets me do something, I shall do it.
I am not ready for what I know is going to be on this screen.
Yep.
What? Oh no,
I want to see it, and also I don't want to see it.
30 feet, yes.
Yeah. 30 feet bright, then another 30 feet dim.
There you go, sir.
Ooh, I like it.
I tinted it pink because it's
Pretty.
sunlight, and that could be important later. So you can see the area of effects there. Okay.
I just thought I'd Mace Windowed my way through this campaign.
Now, are you going to let me get this stat block, dear Cobalt Press?
I wish I wanted to let you, actually.
It doesn't want it, no.
I
You right?
think if you need to, I've heard that just the rat on D&D Beyond.
Oh, the rat stat block is the same one? Oh, great, thanks.
Same one. Same as the rat stat block.
Yeah?
It's okay, I have other
Everyone
means.
knows rats are chaotic people.
Luna Kidna, where are
Yeah.
you?
I hate this.
This is from, it's from, the music's from Out of the Abyss. It's
Sweet.
Spider's Lair, which our players missed, so I'm so glad I got to use it.
Rolling.
Thank you, dear friends.
Yeah, it's gone right through you.
I have to use my character sheet on my phone. So sorry if I'm weird in the frame.
No problem.
Looking down at how on earth I can get through this without dying.
Now, the fun thing about these Luna Kidna,
Yeah.
Nothing. It's nothing.
they are in tune with the phases of the moon. And
Oh,
the
that's so fun.
current full
Wow.
moon means that these are Transcendence Luna Kidna.
Oh, even better.
Oh,
I
sick.
love a transcendent Luna Kidna.
Fabulous, isn't it?
I mean, it's technically the day after the full moon, so
They're on the wane.
yeah, exactly.
The horse agrees.
On their
Yeah.
way out.
Horse is on our side.
Okay, sorry everybody. Just a few more tech gobos to sort out. And we can get...
I mean, we're in no rush. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
No,
fine.
no, we are. we really are.
Ultimate episode. If you guys need to leave, we've got stuff to do. We've only got one more episode to get it done. Feel free to just head off. We'll come
Yeah.
back to you, I promise.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I will get that sorted elsewhere. Otherwise, as these creatures come scuttling towards you, Vanta, you do hear that host of ravens up above the treetops, out of sight above the interlocking branches, cawing,
Murder of ravens.
trying to make their way through to the scene here, but unable to get past the trees that seem to have shifted and be working in favor of their Dark Lord, for he is the land, if you recall. And as these creatures scuttle through the trees, closer and closer to all of you, you see a wall of fog, mist, rolling along that road that heads off to the east there, and obscuring the view down that way, obscuring those Luna Kidna on the side of the road there. And as it starts to roll forward, you hear the creaking of wagons. and the sound of horses. Thank you.
That was very good.
That was perfect. And as this mist rolls forward, emerging out of it, you see a large, shadowy shape. No, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. The biggest of the two shapes, of all the shapes, being 2 barrel-topped wagons that creak out, and at the front of the main one, you see Madame Eva at the head of her Vistani friends. And as they all come charging out of the mist on their horses, they let up a huge ululating cry. Ah, let's get them! And the Vistani come charging forward, and Madame Eva starts to move her hands in some mystical form, and her Paroka cards rise up around her in a ring around her head and start to spin slowly, and she starts to manipulate the magics that she has access to. And
I'm so jealous and excited.
Vanta, you see the other wagon is being driven by Sophia, the latest convert to the Raven Queen, the teenage daughter of the camp that you turned to the Raven Queen. And as the Vistani whoop and holler and draw their blades as they come charging in on horseback towards these strange creatures, they take up the majority of them as these other strange spider-like creatures turn to face these new enemies. And let me quickly do this.
I love the Euro pop in the background. It's really sweet.
I love it. It's fabulous.
Whoa.
Hello.
Yes!
Look at this horse buggy. I mean, there's like 6 horses there.
Alright. So, the Vistani of Madame Eva's tribe and camp come charging out of the trees on horseback with their swords drawn to attack these creatures. And only the ones behind you to the west are left unattended as the Vistani dive into combat against the majority of these creatures. And you turn to face the other ones who are still creeping up behind you. And I need some initiative, people.
I'm spellbound by Madame Eva's coolness. And I need Nintendo to do that circle thing in the point.
So, thanks to my alert, I have a +10 to initiative.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Noise.
I got an 11. I rolled a natural
Me.
1.
Oh no.
Right, I'm gonna pop to the very
3 up here.
No, the 2 on the bluff up here, and then the 1 on the
We can't see him yet.
I can just barely see what's on that.
Cheers, Daft. I've been waiting to use this music for a long time. Okay, it's just not letting me summon the character sheets, so I'm just going to have to grab the one that's not clickable and use good old-fashioned dice. Oh, Noah in the house, everyone. Alright, indeed. Sorry, Xenacus, you don't get to go first.
Oh my god.
That's where their strength lies, nothing else.
Yes, they are good at initiative and they have a -6 to attack.
Exactly.
Maybe still fail. Very kind words. Alright, so as the battle is engaged with the Vistani over to the east, as the wagons come rolling up with the mist rolling around their wheels, and the magics of Madame Eve are starting to crackle, and you see little eldritch sparks of almost kind of like fairy fire kind of effects that she casts out on the Luna Kidna around her, so that her Vistani friends and family can just descend upon them and attack them as viciously as possible. And, wow, that music's really loud, sorry. She took a moment to look at it. There we go.
I mean, I just hear the
hope you could hear us.
noise.
That's the, it's the spider web attack kind of thing. Speaking of. Alright, so these Luna Kidna come charging towards you. Alright. So, coming down here. This one comes scuttling onto the road here, down near you, Esmeralda. And this one comes charging forwards to here. Comes down the bluff there, scuttling down the side of the cliff towards you all. And then finally, this one comes charging over here to here. And as they do, their strange, what must be their mouth opening, but you can't see it because it's just completely covered in this silk gossamer webbing. You just see their chins elongating as their mouths must be opening beneath that. And thanks, Nutty. And as they do that, they let leash their Luna beam as pure moonlight erupts from where their mouth would be. And I need a dexterity saving throw from you all, please.
The +1 from the beacon of hope.
19!
Nice.
20!
Nice.
Dex save.
21!
Yes. How many people are you rolling for? Oh, that was total, I see. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
I think a 28 saves.
Absurd.
It does indeed. Crick?
22.
22? Wow.
Yes!
Okay, everyone takes half
Haha.
of the radiant damage that is coming at you.
Oh. Radiant damage.
Radiant.
Yeah, it's moonlight.
Oh, okay.
Ah, of course.
Boop. Okay, so everyone. Look, why are you all the way up there? Come down here. Okay, everyone takes 15 radiant damage.
15. Ouch!
Yeah, owie.
I love this band. They're so good. They're so fun. Let me give them a shout out properly here. Oh, wrong one. Where is it? There. Massive shout outs to the Brioza Collectif over on the Baltic coast, as you may have guessed, and of course the fabulous Noah. Alright, okay. So, yes, that is 15 radiant damage to you all as they align themselves there and unleash these moonbeam attack kind of things. And that is all they've got coming, though. Xenicus, your turn.
Cool. So, I'm going to run forward, of course.
Charge.
And kind of do is that kind of like a little no, it's just a roll. Okay, kind of gonna run and jump between these two and kind of do like a spinning slash and hit just for flavor. So it just jumps in and kind of spins, hits one with his shield and slashes into the other.
Nice.
So this is gonna hit the northern one first, and that is going to be a 26 to hit.
That'll do it. You went for the top one, yeah?
Yep. So that will be... Oh god, yeah. Are these classes undead?
You have to hit them and find out.
I need to know if I need to roll the dice or not.
No, they are not, I'm afraid.
Okay. Okay, I get to roll extra dice if they're undead. So that is...
Oh, sorry, interesting thing.
Yep.
you said your sword is casting bright light, isn't it?
Yep.
As you rush towards them, the lights shining brightly upon their spider silk forms reflects off them somehow, and the brightness of it gets in your eyes, and as the bright light flows over them, they all become invisible.
What?
Sorry, I just read that. They have light invisibility.
Oh, I don't like that.
So please
I don't
roll
like
another
that.
roll, because you have disadvantage.
Yeah, I just want to see how I can turn this off.
There's a little button on the bottom of the handle.
You can. But I mean, the blade disappears if you do that.
Yeah. I guess like, you can reduce the vision so that it would only be the one next to me.
And I hope you realise from my reaction there, I did not choose them for that particular purpose. I just noticed.
Yeah.
Hey, get a new weapon. Fuck you, your new weapon.
Sorry. I've had these down. I was just trawling through all of the Cobalt Press monster books and thinking what looks thematically, appropriate for the different settings. I have a list of them for Icewind Dale. I have a list of them for Barovia.
I can reduce the thingy of it, but I need to use my bonus action, which means I can't add my extra damage.
I have a very long list of them for Eberron.
Lovely.
So... Anyway, that will be plus 10, so that is 16 radiant damage against this thing.
Okay, no.
If he's resistant to radiant damage, I'm gonna cry.
No.
Thank God.
16?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then
Just try.
I'll use my bonus action to reduce the light to its minimum, which is 5 feet.
Noted. 5 feet and then 5 of dim, right? As well.
You can use an action to expand or reduce its bright. You can use a bonus action to expand or reduce its radius of bright and dim light by 5 foot. Yeah, to a maximum of 30 or a minimum. Oh shit, a minimum of 10 feet. Sorry.
Okay.
So, I might need to. I should have kept that other sword just in case.
Oh.
Krieg sighs, just hurls it towards you. There you go. Okay, anything else?
That one
You
also
good?
gives off light, so
On
I'm
to you
doomed
next.
either way. Yes, that is me.
Next.
Okay, Lady Vanta.
Oh wait, no, it's not me.
Okay.
Sorry. I have got 2 attacks.
Go on.
Sorry.
Disadvantage once more, please.
You sword who this?
No worries.
That was a nat 20.
And
23 for the other.
that'll hit. Same one, right?
Yeah. And that's 16 radiant. And then I'm done. Sorry about that.
It's no problem. Alright, thank you. Lady Vanta, Krieg, you're on deck.
Okay. I am going to. Let's see. Can I see them now that the sword is gone?
You can see the one in the south. The other two you cannot.
So, for example, this one. Hang on,
Just this one,
one?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then from here, I will. Oh, it's a touch spell. Sorry. I will go up to it.
Okay.
And I will cast inflict wounds.
I can't show you the picture on the. Maybe I can show you. Sorry again. Let me. I want to show you the picture. I can't show you that journal entry. Okay. I'll show you the
I'll
token.
cast inflict wounds at 2nd level, which is me. I will do a spell attack on it. It's gross. I can't see the twitch. Do I have advantage? Just so I know.
You have inspiration, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna use it.
Okay.
Okay. Does a 9? Okay. Does 16 hit?
A 16 just hits.
Yes. 4d10. 7.
Just stay man.
10.
Nice.
4.
Total of.
So 17, 21. Okay, that's not so good. 23 points of necrotic damage.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you see the black tendrils go spidering across, if you excuse the pun, across its form as your necrotic energy seeps into this strange aberration. Okay, anything else?
Okay, and then As a bonus action, I would like to use Harness Divine Power and get that spell slot back.
That's it. Crick, how about it? As you're next.
Okay. I'm going to
God's sake, Haley.
cast
I don't know why do I bother moving these
Fairy
crystals?
Fire.
Think Haley. I'm joking.
Well, first, I'm actually... Oh, wait, no, I can't do that. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark as a bonus action on the one that Vanta just hit. And, let's take a shot. So first
Tequila?
shot
Vodka?
is going to be 16.
All right. Let me zoom in. Everyone, you have the view of the epic goings on of the Vistani. I'm going to zoom in on our friends here so you can see just what is going on properly. WC Collective. Not me. I didn't get to that. Sorry, I zoomed on the wrong one. This one. As you're in this battle, you do look over at the Vistani. You see they've all got earbuds in. They're all listening to this.
Yes.
Oh my god, they're wearing AirPods, they can't hear us.
Okay, John. So, that Luna Kidna takes, let's see, 18 piercing damage and 5 force damage. For
The
a
one
total of 23.
they don't have any resistances, so just give me the full whack.
Okay. Yeah,
So
this
spoiling
one
things
that
up.
I Hunter's Mark.
Yeah. So the total was again, sorry?
23.
Notice.
And shot number 2 is an 18.
Just hits.
Less this time, 13 damage.
13. Okay. Oh, indeed. Ow.
And
That is
Trig is gonna also...
now blooded.
Oh, nice. Trig is also gonna fly up probably about 15 feet.
Notice.
And that's me.
Alright, Esmeralda.
Ez is going to take a pot shot at the Lunikina that we're focusing down. How do you spell that, by the way?
Yeah, a few people have asked how you
Yes.
spell it. Chat.
Let's get in chat.
Okay. But yeah, we're going to take a pot shot with our crossbow. Does 27 hit?
Indeed. Sorry, which one are you going
Okay.
for? Down by Vanta?
The bloodied one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be only 6. And then I'm going to use my bonus action to put on Blade Song.
Sorry, 26 damage?
No, just 6.
6.
I realized I was going to do something else, and then I forgot that I was something else. So that's fine.
Noted. Thank
I'm
you.
done.
Okay, your blade song is activated. At the end of the round here, you glance over. You're very welcome, everyone. You glance over. It's from Tome of Beasts 2. And you see the Vistani. Some of them, they're doing that Assassin's Creed Odyssey thing where they're standing up on the horses and they vault off them and attack into the creatures.
Yeah.
Their blades, much like Esmeralda's blade song, are swooshing this way, and that's magics, eldritch magics are erupting from the from the inside of the barrel-top wagons, as it seems Madame Eva is not the only magic user in the group. And Xenicus, you catch a waft of wood smoke and sweet spirits as you hear a voice concerned. Xenicus, don't let them kill you! And you see a worried-looking Damier in the wagon with Sophia. And Gregor is up on the roof. He's like, look at him, he's built like a brick shithouse. He won't get killed. As am I! And he jumps off into the fray. And
Sorry, I forgot to say I wanted to move.
you
but-
notice Damia's father, Stanimar, is also there, and he's using his illusory magics, much as he did when he cast that story and was telling the story of Strahd and how the Vistani had helped him. And he's using his illusory magics to distract and confound these creatures as they're battling amongst the trees and the gravestones of the crossroads. And... Sorry, okay. Get distracted. Nice point in the music. The Luna Kidner are going to do something. Okay. The two on Xenicus are going to attack from invisibility, and they don't lose the invisibility because they're still in the bright light. Because usually, if it's a magic spell, you break, you break it by attacking, but they do not do that. So
They've got advantage on me.
they do have advantage. Okay, so the first one on you makes a bite. That is a 22.
Ah, it just hits.
Ooh.
Just.
That's ridiculous, by the way. And you take 9 necrotic damage. And I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
No.
No. What does that mean?
Con save.
Con save.
That's a 20, direct 20.
Okay, you're fine. As you feel some kind of strange venom coming out of these fangs that protrude through the spider silk. It's a very strange sensation, this kind of like spider silk covered mouth like impacting against your body and like teeth protruding through it.
A gentle hug with
Okay.
pointy bits.
Then claws lash out at you. A
Sounds like a cat.
17 will miss, won't it?
Yeah.
And that misses as well. Then the second one misses with the bites. Natural 20 for its first claw attack.
Oh no.
So that is... It's okay, it's not terrible. Oh, excuse me. 5... 8... 11 slashing damage.
Not looking great.
On a,
Oh,
11 slashing on a natural 20. It's not horrible.
I mean, I've taken a lot of hits over the last round.
That is true. And the second one also hits, but it's not a critical. So that is 6 slashing damage.
Well, I'm bloodied. Certainly.
Okie doke.
I should actually do that.
Vanta, the one next to you. Some sensing that your
Yes?
your affinity with the moon and the twilight's nature of your religion opens its maw once more, and that beam of moonlight erupts out, passing up through your head and shoulders, up into the sky, and hitting Krieg as well. Dexterity saving throw, please.
Natural 1.
Okay.
18.
Okay, Krieg, you take half damage of...
Did I have inspiration?
You gotta put it back on, yeah.
I think you aimed it back.
Is it too late?
Yeah,
It's
once the
too
late.
results out, sorry, yeah.
I can't see the
Yep.
Twitch. I can't see Twitch, so I'm not sure.
No worries. Yeah.
Okay, I'm down.
Well, maybe let's
No,
see.
I'm not. I have 5 HP. Yay!
Okay, so yeah, you take 31, Krieg, you take 15 radiant damage.
Well, I'm just going to change that yellow to red.
Alright. And Xenicus, your turn, sir.
Well, as my bonus action, I will unlight the sword
Sure.
because I'm dead if I don't. And I'll just need to pull out my silvered one that's on my waist and slash with that.
Go for it.
So this one will not be at disadvantage, correct?
No,
'Cause
they
the
are
sword
visible
is-
now. Yep, as the sword goes out, they become visible once more.
Okay, that is 24 to hit.
Hits top or bottom, sorry.
Top, same one I've been hit before. That is 16 radiant damage.
Noted. Bloodied.
Second hit comes in. Ugh, that is a 15.
Misses, I'm afraid.
Well, unfortunately, that's my bonus action and my actions, and I'm not moving, so.
Alright, so yeah, as you lash out with the silvered sword, it cuts through, and quite a lot of the silvery strands of this creature are torn asunder, slashed asunder, if you will. And as you cut, you see the interior is also made of spider silk. It's just solid spider silk all the way through. There's no blood or anything that splashes out. To shreds, I say, yes. Okay, and Lady Vanta Blackspire with Krug on deck.
Okay, Vanta is going to do some healing. Let me just see. Okay. I am going to do a second level cure wounds on myself.
Nice.
Okay, that is 16 healing. Okay. And
makes it less scary, right?
I'm going. Yep. And I am going to. I think I have any attacks I can do with a bonus action.
Oh, Zeneca's trunching into
Yeah.
Just keep moon rushing into the defense.
Cool. As a bonus action, now that I'm in darkness, I'll do Steps of Night, and I will pop my wings, and I'm going to fly away.
Okay, look. Attack of opportunity.
Yes, don't hit me.
Okay. Oh no, wait. Let's roll it. 22.
That's gonna do it.
Okay. You take 7 necrotic
plus 18.
damage. And I need that Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, I fell off the table.
No worries.
That doesn't count. It was on the floor.
Yep.
It was the exact same roll. So I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay.
Much better, dirty 20.
That'll pass. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
And John, I need to send you a message, don't I?
No worries. Krieg.
Let's get shooting.
The blooded one.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, the one that's got the 100 mark on it. Okay, first shot is going to be a 29 to hit.
Well, as you well know.
Okay, that's a 1. I'm re-rolling that. Thanks to Piercer. Much better. Okay, so that's going to be total of 11 plus 16, 24 on the first hit.
It is on its last legs, as many as they may be.
Second shot. Right. 21 to hit on the last shot.
Okay.
And that's gonna be 17 damage.
Tell me what happens.
Whoop whoop.
So I can, like, thanks to the hunter's mark, I can see this thing, and like as I can tell it's about to go down. I'm going to put some Hercules, like the Fey bugs will turn into Hercules beetles on
Nice.
the arrow, and as the arrow shoots through its like web body, they tangle into the horns of the Hercules beetle Fey bugs, and it just like it turns into this ball with like an arrow in it.
Yeah.
But it's really weird, Craig, because as you do that, it gets back up again. It just instantly gets back up again and runs at the other creature.
Oh,
And then
okay.
and attacks it, because I'm going to use my Curse of the Fallen Puppet.
So good.
What is that effect?
Favorite. So
Whoa.
cool.
When a creature is knocked to 0, I can use my Curse of the Blood to use my reaction to give that creature a final act of aggression. It immediately makes a single attack against a target of your choice within its attack range. It doesn't have anything, but I can use the upgraded version to move it half its speed first and give it a bonus equal to my intelligence modifier. So roll +2.
Plus
So
2 on
it's
what it
roll-
already has?
Yeah, +2 on what it already has.
Okay. So it goes dashing forwards and tries to bite its fellow spider person. And that is going to be natural 1.
No!
I've never hit with this ability! Ah!
Sorry. Actually, no, fuck it. You should roll it. Roll it.
What, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What am I adding to it?
Plus 8.
+8. That was an 8 + 8.
Just hits.
Yes, I finally hit.
So roll me.
'Cause I took damage to do that, so I was
Roll me-
very upset.
Roll me 2d6.
2d6. Double sixes.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
This one was
Come
uninjured,
on.
so that helps. Okay, so 15 damage. Thank you. And it just falls down dead, right?
Yeah, the falls dead down. Did it have to make its con saving throw?
It doesn't matter.
Damn.
I'm also going to use my bonus action to move the hunter's mark to that just bitten Lunakidna.
No shit.
I like that Hunter managed like one of the bugs, so it just jumped on the attack. It just jumped over to the other one.
That's exactly what happened.
Alright, thank you. Esmeralda.
Yep. So I'm going to try hitting with my crossbow. I'm going to just try and focus down the one that's to the north.
Yep.
So let's see if we hit. It's gonna be 24.
Hits.
So let's 7 piercing plus. I'm going to ask you to roll a wisdom saving throw for it.
Noted.
DC 16.
Only a 9.
Okay, so it fails, which means that it now has a disadvantage on all attack rolls against targets other than me until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
Nice.
Noted.
Um,
And so,
So
the total 7 damage, right?
7 damage plus. I believe I add on some damage. Do I add on damage? Maybe I don't. Hang on.
If it will say on the thing right next to it, D something plus, if it's got plus.
Yeah. Nope, I don't. All right, so it's just going to attack.
Yes, you do.
Basically mainly me. And so that's my first attack. And my second attack, I'm going to cast Firebolt.
Go for it.
19.
Hits.
So that's going to be, that's terrible. 6 fire damage. I rolled a 5 and a 1.
Alright. Thank you.
And we're also going to move back a little bit, so it has to move off Xenakis if it wants to come attack me.
Noted.
I'm going to go down here.
Okay. Thank you.
Making various rude gestures.
Okay, it is at the end of the turn. The Vistani are still battling away there, and you see them. They seem to be turning the tides with their numbers and the advantage of being on the horseback, and they ride these horses very, very well. That it's like weaving in and out, turning on a dime, in and out of the trees, slashing, making dashing attacks, and then dashing off. Like some of them, there's certain swashbuckler elements to them as they attack and dash out of the way without being attacked in return. Although you do see one of them go down to a bite and gets wrapped up in spider silk and cocooned almost as they fall to the ground. And the
Oh, I didn't. Next time.
Okay.
It's okay. I just looked at the damage roll.
the one that is Hunter's marks will do its lunar beam on Krieg and Esmeralda. So that dex save, please.
No.
Okay. 22.
21.
Okay, so both of you take half of this. So you both take 14 radiant damage. 29 down to 14. As that moonbeam just blasts out once more. And then the other one is going to go for you. Actually, yeah, it's going to be taunted by Esmeralda. And it's going to risk the opportunity attack. So take that attack then, Mike.
Cool. Yeah. Does a 26 hit?
Yes.
Then I'll deal 17 radiant damage.
Okay.
And it stops moving. As I cut its leg tendrils.
Ow.
Because I have Sentinel. So opportunity attacks reduce the movement to 0.
Noted. Okay.
Oh,
Well
wow.
noted indeed.
Now,
Very interesting.
Xenacus, before you take your turn, Emma, what do you want Vanta to do on her turn?
She is going to heal her friends and make sure nobody dies. So she can do. She can death ward someone if necessary. If it looks like they're going to pop down. But healing definitely. And I sorry, I have to run off. But thank you.
See you next week.
Good luck, guys.
See you next week.
See you next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Take it easy.
Alright, everybody. So, I believe... Hang on. Sorry, excuse me, the janky overlay for a second, folks. Yeah, okay. Just double checking the advantages there. The inspirations. All of you have one.
I think all of us have one.
Thank you guys.
Me too, me too. Stay there.
I was happy about that.
Alright, okay, so, Xenacus.
Yep. It is just going to be another hit into this one that's kind of blooded. Oh, wait, it's not blooded. It should be stopped next to me, because it stops as soon as it's in my range, yeah?
But it has to leave the range to.
But I
provoke
stop
the
it.
attack of opportunity, right?
Huh, that's a good point. That seems weird. Because then I wouldn't be able to reach it to hit it.
Well, no, 'cause
it's
it's as
while
it moves.
leaving.
It's as it moves.
Yeah, so yeah, it would still be next to me.
Okay.
Yeah, because then I'd be out of range. But yeah, it made sense. Yeah, so I'm gonna just try back at that one before I turn to the other one that everyone's on. That is a 19.
It's
That is a 14 radiant damage.
Tell me what happens.
Nice.
So like as it's like I've done that cut against its leg, and obviously because I'm right next to it, I just kind of turned that cut against its leg, and it just as it kind of falls forward, I bring this sword back across its neck, and it just like kind of slice it almost like in 2 parts.
Yeah, and it just unravels. It's got some spider threads just erupt out from where the body lies. Okay. Anything else?
And swirl back round and cut against the other one. Deal with that is. Wait. Oh, sorry. That dice fell into all of my other dice, so I can't tell which one it was because I've got 3 d20s, so I'm going to re-roll it. Shit, that's a 13 to hit, so it's going to miss.
Yeah, misses, I'm afraid. Okay. Yeah, you spin round and it kind of nimbly dodges out of the way. And Vanta was saying she was going to heal, wasn't she?
She was.
Herself?
Who's ever the worst
She
off?
said her
Probably
friends,
Jeeves.
but probably herself, yeah.
Yeah, keeping her up.
Mhm.
Okay, and Krieg, go for it. I'll do that.
Okay. Let's take a couple more shots. First shot's gonna be 13 to hit, which misses.
Okay.
Second shot,
Wow.
19.
I'm going to give Emma the benefit of the doubt and assume she uses paper to keep track of her spell slots, because apparently she has no spell slots used. Although she's been casting spells the whole time.
She casted Flick Wounds and 1 healing spell on herself.
Both at 2nd level.
Sorry?
She cast them both at 2nd level.
Okay. Please do keep track of your slots, people.
Yeah. Okay, so I was able to get 1 shot in on the remaining spider friend, and it's gonna take 16 damage.
Noted. $16, is that right?
Yeah, 16 damage.
Noted. Okay, thank you. Next. Well done.
That's me.
Okay, Esmeralda.
Yep, and I did realize actually I'm supposed to add on an extra d8 when I use one of these maneuvers, but I'll do that next time.
Gotcha.
Yep, so I'm going to do the same combo, not using a goading attack this time, but I'm going to do the crossbow first.
No worries, Tanya. You're all good.
10, I'm guessing that's going to miss.
Yes, it does.
Yep, alright, we're going to do firebolt then. 19.
That hits.
Okay. 8. I'm still rolling very badly. Lots of ones, but 8 fire damage!
Noted, noted. Thank you. Behind you hear the roar of the Vistani taking the fight, continuing on, the clatter of the hooves as they move around. One of them leaps over a fallen log, and you see the horses have strange horseshoes on. They're kind of like spikes and stuff on them, and it just like comes down and lashes down with its legs and tramples one of these Lunakidna beneath its battle hooves.
If these horses are, I gotta say, if these horses are the same as Maxine, does that mean they're wearing brass knuckles?
They would be, right? Okay.
Little gloves.
Alright. This one is going to spin around you, Xenicus. To the other side there, as you see that familiar moonlit glow start to emanate from its mouth. I've recharged nearly every turn. And Krieg and Xenicus, I need that saving throw again, please.
Was it con? Yeah?
Con save, please, yeah.
Wait, I need to make a con save?
Yeah, it's a direct line, so it's heading through me and into you.
Oh, okay. Well, that was not good.
16?
Okay.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
And 16, do I use it?
19.
No, I think I'm gonna keep it.
Okay, yeah, you both pass. And you take half damage from...
Roll a 1, it's fine.
Okay, so 15 each.
Ugh! I
the
am looking very rough.
Radiant
rough, yeah.
energy burns through you from
Not
this
last
creature.
legged, but almost.
Noted. Xenicus,
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yep, I intend to. Oh, that is a 17?
Hits. As you spin around with your sword.
14 radiant.
Okay. Just blooded.
And a dirty 20 for another 14.
Nice. Okay, it's coming apart at the seams. It has a lot of seams.
And I'm going to move up 1. Can I keep at it as it's moving past? We're going to keep trying to keep it kind of off edge.
Notice? Yeah. It's lashing out at you with its claws, but you're just going to fend them off with the sword as you move up there. Okay. Vanta. Vanta casts Toll the Dead on this thing. Ooh, I passed the saving throw though. So it does not affect it, I'm afraid. There's a sonorous boom, 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 as the magic goes across the field, but it is... I think a couple of the other ones up on the other side get affected by it, but not that one, unfortunately.
I mean, the Vistani are rocking to the bum bum bums.
Right. Crick.
Okay. Natural 20.
Yeah!
Yes! Amazing!
Hold on, I gotta check something. Lovely, okay. thanks to my piercer, I get to roll and double die +1.
Go for it.
Ooh.
+1 dice, right? Not +1.
Yeah, 1 damage dice. Yeah, no.
Hey, whether this
roll that with piercer. Very good. So that's 20 plus.
Oh, here comes the breakdown.
Lovely. So it's gonna take 30 damage from the
Okay.
first shot.
Nice.
Tell me what happens.
Yeah, it's Craig.
So again, this time it's Hercules beetles as well, but I'm also gonna put like one of the assassin bugs that I use for my, or bombardier beetles that I use for my searing smite. So it's gonna wrap up as the arrow passes through into a ball, and then it's gonna burst into flame.
Noted. Okay, so yes, the bugs swarm around it, and as the friction builds, you start to see it blacken and smolder, and then with a woof, the whole 8-legged thing goes up. I'm sorry, I say 8-legged. 4-armed, 4-legged thing goes up and starts to hiss and squeal in pain as it flips over and its legs curl in on itself, and it shuffles off this mortal coil, and you are left. And I think, I mean, we're just gonna, we're gonna hand wave it, but you sprint over and join the Vistani in their attacks against the other creatures here. And sorry, Relishu, as you say how much you like the music, I'm about to turn it off. Apologies. You can go back and watch the VOD and get the whole combat with all the music. And you are left.
I definitely drop to one knee as soon as the combat feels like exhausted, because I am almost dead.
There you go.
Yeah, Krieg is not feeling too hot either.
I think only Ez is doing okay.
Alright. And as the creatures are bested and driven back from whence they came, Xenicus, you're almost knocked off your feet as Damia just comes barreling out of the barrel top wagon and crunches into you and just flings her arms around you. Xenicus, Xenicus, are you alright?
No, yes. Yeah, like definitely trying to stand up and failing miserably.
Mm-hmm.
Like leaning, like he's definitely got his shield like in the ground and kind of like leaning on it.
Yeah, she helps you. And the Vistani clapping each other heartily on the back and like sharing a wineskin that's already been brought out and passing around. I think Gregor definitely had like, is it like a bandolier of wineskins? Like, and
He probably at one point was trying to throw like one of those like fire bombs and like threw just a sack of wine at one of them at one point.
No.
By mistake.
Yes, you are left here in the Svalak Woods, victorious over this wave of Strahd's minions. If only that was the only wave of minions he had, but unfortunately there are more to overcome. As you gather your forces next week, take the journey to Castle Ravenloft, head down to the crypts, and at the site of the Mother's Tomb, confront the Dark Lord of Barovia himself. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. All of you, thank you for playing, and I hope you can join us next time for the finale of Curse of Strahd, as they have everything that they can need, or that they have access to at least, and they will be taking the fight to the Dark Lord himself next week. Same time, same place, wherever you may be, and I hope you can join us then too. Thank you so much. It's great to see so many familiar names in here tonight. And all the new people. Everyone, thank you for the raids. Dredge, you're an absolute legend. We love you. And everyone else, thank you for the follows as well. I will be sending you invites to our followers Discord. If you are not already, jump in on that. And you can come and hang out and share projects that you have and stuff. I need to get in touch with Lazy because he has some Twitch clips to share. I'm going to make a clips channel, I think. So, yes, there is the Discord. Just give the Twitch channel a follow, and I will send you an invite in your Twitch whispers. So keep an eye out for that. Cheers, Kyra. It's good to see you. And everyone in there. Chaotic, I see you there. Welcome, Stormfell. As always, a pleasure. Now, we will be back before we are back in Barovia, of course. Not tomorrow, as descent into Avernus is over. They have ascended from Avernus instead. And if you missed the fantastic conclusion of that last week, I hope you can catch the VOD over on our YouTube. Here's the link again. And you can catch all the VODs over there. It was an epic finish to an epic 2-year campaign. But you can join us on Saturday as our lovely thug over there. I see him. I saw him somewhere. Big Man Studios will be with us, as well as the wonderful people from the KBG podcast, as we continue our Candlekeep Mysteries campaign. Then, next Tuesday, the triumphant return, Season 2 of Rime of the Frost Maiden is starting up again with a new player from Warmer Climes. The fantastic Shadow, played by our good friend Chase in New York, will be joining us for the Frost Maiden campaign to make up the numbers, as poor Mockingbird was laid to rest, to sing no more. And Chase will be taking that place there to bring them up to 4 once more, as Taln, Soyala, and everyone's favourite Chicken Mame continue their quest to thwart the evils of Oral the Frost Maiden. I hope you can join us for that. Then we'll be back in the Underdark for Out of the Abyss, and back here for the finale of Strahd. Do not miss it. It's going to be a classic. And a very creative way to finish the Curse of Strahd if they are successful. So do check in and see just what they have up their sleeves. I'm very proud of them all for coming up with something so different and so interesting to use, as opposed to the average slog on the balconies and ramparts of Castle Ravenloft, which is also epic, to be fair. A good backdrop. But I'm very interested to see how this is going to happen. I'm going to be making some unique mechanics for the occasion, so do join us for that. And stick around for the ending screen as we go a-raiding. If you've got them, let those phoenixes fly. Enjoy a little teaser for what's coming up next month as we are journeying away from the Sword Coast for the first time. I guess Avernus and Barovia are quite far away from the Sword Coast too, but we'll be far away from the Sword Coast on the Sea of Fallen Stars. I can't wait to see you there. And wherever and whenever it may be, we'll see you next time. But until then, as we like to say around these parts, Oyasumi Nasai.
Yes,
Bye everyone.
Yasumi!